Welcome back, listeners, to another episode of Susan Lopresti Wellness, Mind, Body, and Soul, the podcast where we explore the highs, the lows, and everything in between when it comes to a woman's life, her health, and all aspects of navigating the midlife landscape. I'm your host, Susan Lopresti, and I am super excited today because I have a very special guest with me who I met on a networking website, and we just connected because I was looking over her bio and I saw that she put that she is a certified cellular health coach. So Miriam Spencer, I met her and we spoke a little bit, and I knew that I had to have her on my podcast. So let me give you a little bit of information about Miriam. She is a certified cellular health coach. She empowers people to heal from the inside out. She coaches with a unique focus on cellular health and uses a holistic approach to healing from within. Miriam is the author of her upcoming book, Divine Design, which I absolutely love the title of that book. It's to be released in December, and she believes that we are all powerful co-creators with the divine and have built in innate intelligence with the ability to self-heal from the inside out. In her upcoming book, she describes the 7 habits that are essential to a healthy life. And as a woman in her late 60s, Miriam has decided that she will live a long, healthy, happy life. She is using these habits along with a new bio-switch technology, which is a breakthrough that is bettering people's lives worldwide. This technology is proven to help the body to do its own healing, and people are seeing results with diabetes, autoimmune diseases, cardiovascular health, inflammation, digestive function, and hormone modulation, and so much more. She states that we don't have to settle for less or listen to what the world tells us to do, think, or say. She encourages everyone to listen, discern, and decide what it is that you have to do for your own healing. We have the very essence of life energy, God within, who guides us to all truth. So without further ado, Miriam, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you.
Oh my goodness, not as much as I appreciate you, Susan. Thank you for that introduction. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
You're very welcome. I'm excited to have my listeners hear what you are doing and what it's all about. So my first question today is I want you to give your opinion of what you find in adults over 60 that are facing, like what health challenges or what problems are people over 60 beginning to face.
Yeah, I'm over 60.
Me
And
too.
yeah, so I think women are going to relate, people are going to relate, because what we've been told is that, and I've done some research for my book and recently as well, that I'm going to read some numbers off to you. Women over even 60, 50, and 60 categories. First of all, as a woman, let me start there. As a woman, there are 3 top concerns, and I think I mentioned that in my book. 3 top concerns, and they're money, relationships, and health. And I don't know the order, but in my book, it's health, relationships, and money. And actually, everything is interconnected. So if you're lacking in one area, it's going to affect the others, right? Everything is connected. But when you don't have your health, I mean, you can't get out of bed. Imagine your day if you can't even get out of bed to even go to the restroom. I mean, that you cannot do anything. So for me, health is critical. So I did some research, and the statistics say that if you're over 60, guess what? There are 10 chronic conditions. All right. And I'm going to start from number 10 to number 1.
Okay.
And I'll give you the percentage. It's Alzheimer's disease. It's 12%. Up top 10, that's number 10. Number 9 is depression, 16%. Heart failure, 15%. So cardiovascular related things. Chronic kidney disease, 25%. That took out my mom. I was a caregiver for 6 years, and that did it for her. And I'll tell you why later. Number 10, 9, 8, 7. 6 is diabetes, 27% diabetes. And again, cardiovascular, ischemic coronary heart disease. So one is heart failure, and heart disease is 29%. Arthritis is 35%. Obesity, 42%. High cholesterol, 51%. And I'm challenging high cholesterol. Cholesterol is not bad. It's good for you. Your brain is all cholesterol.
Yes.
All right. And number 1 is 60% high blood pressure. High blood pressure. Now, guess what? This is not going to be a guilt trip because it's not your fault. These problems are not your fault. If we had a healthy food system without the toxins, if we had clean water to drink without the toxins and clean air without the toxins, I don't think we'd have these 10 problems. We wouldn't. And why do I say that? Hey, listen, recently, 2 years ago or so, I found, I don't know how things happen to me. I usually am an early adapter. I find things that are going to change the world before most people do. And I found this amazing app called Yuka. I have nothing to do with it. I don't even know who they are, but they're Yuka. It's Y-U-K-A. Y-U-K-A. You can download it for free. But I go around the grocery store, I go Costco, and I scan every item of food that I'm going to purchase. Why? Because that app tells me what's in the ingredients, what are the ingredients, and they rate it on a scale of 0 to 100. And if it's over 50, 51, you get a green dot, okay. And if it's not, it'll tell you what is the toxin that's in that food. And I was shocked. There's so much chemicals in the food that hurt us. And it'll even tell you what kind of chemical, the name of the chemical, what does it do to your body, like kidney disease, heart disease, and it'll give you a rating. Then you decide if you want to put that in your body or not. The choice is yours.
Yeah.
So you see, I don't want to, I could talk on forever on one question. The other thing is go check your water. Go to ewg.org. Again, I'm not affiliated with any of these people or organizations, but this is what I do for me. ewg.org, put in your zip code and find out how much toxin chemicals are in the water, the faucet water. I don't drink faucet water ever, but yet I shower in it. It's going in my body. The skin is our largest organ. So we need to be informed. We need to find out what's going on because there are answers and I have solutions for these 10 problems. And thank God I don't have any of them.
Great.
Because I've been taking care of myself and I'm taking care of a whole lot of other people with what I do with my 7 habits and other things.
Okay, so with that being said, let's talk about you are a cellular health coach. And that was the thing that intrigued me because I never heard of that before. So tell us what a cellular health coach is all about.
Yeah, thank you. A lot of people ask me that question. What is a cellular health coach? Well, think about it. What's the body made of?
Cells.
75 to 100 trillion cells. We are literally an organism of little cells, and each one can do everything, all of the body functions that we can do. So individual cells need to be healthy in order for all of us to be healthy. So a cellular health professional will help you through that. It's not a healing. The body, this is one thing I want to make clear. The body does the healing. The body knows how to heal. Like you said in the introduction, we have been designed with innate intelligence to self-heal. So these cells are constantly growing and talking, communicating, and telling the body what to do. So as a coach, I take people through the 7 habits, and then I provide them with a biotechnology that I use that helps the cell to function better, to produce these called redox molecules so that they can get out, detect the bad cells, replace them, and or improve on them. If they're salvageable, they'll repair them. If not, they'll replace them with a new cell.
Interesting. So let's talk about the 7 healthy habits of highly healthy people.
Yep. That's my book is in my book. I call it The 7 Habits of Highly Healthy People. Some of you might remember the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Well, healthy people have habits too. I mean, we all do, whether we acknowledge them or not. Some are good habits and most are not. But the 7 habits of highly healthy people starts with eating right, nutrition, organic food, or better yet, go to the nearest farm and get the food from there as much as possible. Healthy nutrition. So that's number 1. And hydration there's no order to this because you can't live without any one of them.
Right.
So nutrition, hydration, sleep, breath. You need to take time to breathe. Meditate. You're a Reiki specialist, and meditation. I don't have to tell you how important that is. I need to do more of that myself. Just take time to breathe. And I put a timer on my phone to remind me to stop and take a breath, close your eyes and get away from the world, because I need to go within and connect. So that's so critical. Sleep is critical. Hydration, nutrition, breath, movement, exercise, even if it's just walking, 15 minutes one way, 15 minutes the other way, but do it every day. Sleep, sun. Okay, you're going to question me on sun.
Yes. Talk to me about sun, because I know that there are a lot of benefits to the sun, vitamin D, of course, but everyone is so fearful, and they should be, I think, of the sun because of skin cancer, which I had myself. So how do we find the healthy balance of utilizing the sun for our health without the danger of the sun?
Excellent question. And I know I've had my father had skin cancer. I think he passed from that, actually. So I understand the fear. However, don't throw out the baby with the bathwater because we need the sun. Okay, I am from a tropical island, and all of the people there do not have the rate of skin cancer as this country does. If you go look at other countries, their skin cancer rates, look at the tropical countries, it's not that high. So how do you sun? And there are studies that prove that sun is beneficial. And I think I listed one of them in my book. I don't remember. It's with the editor right now, and it'll be out in December. But yeah, sun is critical because your cells, your skin needs the sun. The nutrition, there's nutrition in the sunlight. There's so many different modalities now. There's light therapy. So the body needs light. We are light. We are energy, frequency, sound, vibration, all those things that have been used forever heal the body. Sun is one of them. It helps with vitamin D. Now, I'm not saying go out there in the middle of the day, between 12 and 2 when the sun is the hottest and just, bake in there. Don't do that. But you can do it early in the morning. Your eyes need the sunlight. Your eyes get nourishment from the sun. I never wear sunglasses. I don't, because my eyes need nutrition. So the sunlight gives me that early in the morning when the sun is rising, or late at night with sunsets. I used to live in Florida, and I loved going to the beach at sunset and just sitting there and watching the sun come down. And I didn't know that was therapeutic back then. I do now.
So even when the sun is setting, it's still beneficial, or rising are the
Yes.
two best times of day. So let's say getting up in the morning when the sun is coming up and taking a walk
Mhm.
in the sunlight. So now you're doing two things. You're getting the sun and you're utilizing that time for exercise as well. So how
Yes.
much time would you recommend that you stay in the sun early in the morning or later in the day? How much time do you
This,
think you
as much as you want, 20 minutes, it's as much as you want. It doesn't really matter. To me, what really matters is uh, I don't believe, since I'm a holistic coach, I don't believe we need the chemicals that we've been ingesting and putting on our skin. And sunscreen has a lot of chemicals. And so does by the way, our beauty products. They have a lot of chemicals too. So I stay away from as much chemicals as possible because it's in my control. But I can't control right now the water and the food supply and all that stuff. So I do what I can and I eliminate as many chemicals as possible. So I guess what's really important is that you get out there and do it daily, at least a little bit. And also grounding. If you can walk barefoot somewhere in the morning, you got three things. You're grounding because you need the energy from the earth. The energy from the earth is healing. So you can do those three things.
yes. Yeah.
And redox molecules, which is number 7, because redox molecules will help with any skin issue. Now, I'm not saying, and I'm going to talk about redox in a minute.
Yes.
I'm not saying that what I have is a claim to cure, heal, diagnose, treat any illness or disease, because my technology that I'll be talking about in a minute is not a pharmaceutical. So I cannot say it does any healing because in actuality, it doesn't. Your body does. Your body does the healing. All this does is activate that.
I want to go back to the sun for one
Yeah,
moment because we
absolutely.
talked about sunscreen and the chemicals in it. So if you go out in the middle of the day, are you not applying sunscreen to your body at all?
I personally don't,
Okay.
but there are sunscreens that don't have chemicals that
Yeah.
Yuka, if you go to the Yuka app, it'll recommend which ones to use. So yes, there are some, and use the ones that have the least amount of unhealthy chemicals or
Okay.
none at all. Yeah.
Okay.
But
Great.
I don't because I don't think I get enough sun up here.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
think I go enough out during the day in the bad hours. Now, if I were to go to the beach like I am doing next week, maybe I will. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. So let's get into what is this redox signaling molecules? What is that all about? I'm very
Yeah.
excited to hear.
Thank you for asking. That's step 7 of my healthy habits. So it's hydration, nutrition, breath, movement, sleep, sun, and redox. Seven habits. Because the 7th is this biotechnology. They call it a bio switch. I'll show you if I may.
Mm-hmm.
This is right here. It's a liquid that you drink, and it's a gel that you put on your skin. So what does this do? These are redox signaling molecules. It's a communication. These are tiny messengers that's in your body right now. You have them. I have them. All animals and plants, all life have them. And there's tiny little sparks. They're made in the mitochondria of your cell. The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, and it produces ATP, which is energy.
Mm-hmm.
It takes in the nutrition, the water, all those things, and it turns it into energy. And there's sparks. They're like this. They come and go. So years ago, before 1998, it was considered to be useless. Doctors were taught that this was a waste product. It had really no function, and it was part of the Krebs cycle in biology. So no one knew what they were. It was kind of like, oh, your tonsils, you don't need them. Oh, your appendix, you don't need them. Take them out. It's spare parts. that to me doesn't make sense. If it's in there, it's in there for a reason. But anyway, they didn't know. So in 1998, 3 scientists were awarded the Nobel Prize for discovering that these tiny molecules were not a waste product. They're actually the very energy that powers all life, energy that powers life. So without them, we would cease to exist in a matter of minutes.
Wow.
We have them. The thing is that as after puberty, they start to decline and we lose them in quantity and efficacy. So if I'm almost 70, I lose like 1% a year, 10% per decade. I think I'm down to maybe 30% now. So I have to replenish. And when I replenish, this cellular communication enables the cells to talk to one another and find out. It's smart technology. We call it a technology. It's a biotechnology, and it's not me, it's science, proven science that says these cells know where to go to detect the bad cells in your body, repair them or replace them. So that's what this does. So if you have any health condition that involves the cell, hello, what are the top 10? You know, this can help because the body knows what to do.
So is there a test that you could take to see if they're working for you?
Yeah, good question. The test is a SED rate. If you want to know, you know, inflammation, I'm sure you've heard, is bad for your body. It helps in building disease.
Yes.
You can get a SED rate, which is short for sedimentation rate. And that they draw your blood, they put it in a test tube, and they measure how quickly the blood cells flow to the bottom of that test tube. And that measures the rate of inflammation in your body. I just had it done for the second time. I'm at 4. The lower the number, the better you are.
Oh, excellent.
So you take it before you start this technology, and then you do it again 3 months later, and you see the difference, because this will bring down the inflammation.
And that's pretty much what leads to disease, is having inflammation in your body and not addressing it.
Right.
And that's incredible. So if the molecules are already in us, why do we need to be replenishing them?
Yeah, good question. Because of toxicity, of age. You know, I said after puberty, they automatically start to decline. And we don't really know yet. Science has not yet determined why that happens, but it happens. And so when they start to decline, and as we age, we don't recover as quickly from a fall. You know,
Yeah.
I run around after 3 grandkids, right? They're 5 and 4 and 2. And I was just looking at them the other day. They have so much energy right when they wake up, and then to all day long. I'm like, wow, there's no way it's hard to keep up with them, but I do because I take my redox. But that kind of energy declines as we age, and we get hurt, we don't bounce back. This will bring our body back to homeostasis, and it makes us more resilient because we're able to bounce back. Resiliency is important. That's what this does.
So I have Hashimoto's disease, and I also have celiac disease. So how would this technology work for me? How would it help me?
Wow, that's awesome. Is there a cell involved in these diseases?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's how it can help. And the only way that, I can tell you, and I have hundreds of thousands of testimonials on a website, and everywhere in science, we have documentation. It will help. I can promise you that it will help, because there's a cell involved, and anything that involves the cell, this works. So the only way to know is to try it. 90 days minimum. You'll test it, and everybody needs a different amount. So we need to find that amount for you. That's where I coach you through that process. And you have to drink it correctly because you can't just put this in a metal cup. If you put this in a metal cup, it denatures the product and it will not work. So you drink it correctly in a glass or a plastic cup, and you drink it consistently, and you do it throughout the day, not all at one sitting. So if you do that consistently for 90 to 180 days, you will see a difference. The gel, this gel here, it helped my husband in 10 minutes because 6 years ago when we started this, he was hurting. He had diabetes that was really high, his blood sugar, and one night he fainted. He was out. I don't know what happened. His blood pressure dropped. He fainted. We took him to the emergency room and they ruled out a stroke and a heart attack. But no one addressed the elephant in the room. He was literally like this with his hands like this. And he's, don't touch me, because his arms were burning inside. You know, his veins, his nerves inside, he said they were flickering like Christmas tree lights. And he was in such pain that the neurologist saw him 2 days later and said, you have permanent nerve damage, you have peripheral neuropathy. And he wanted to give him a pill. And I knew what that pill was. He did too, because my mom was on it. And we took her off. It turned her into a zombie. And so he said, nah, thank you. I'll find something. And he said, there's nothing else that you can do. You're just going to have to live with it. And that he did for 9 months. And he went looking for things. Nothing helped. When I gave him this to try, it's not going to work. I think he was getting depressed by then. He was tired of hurting. Yeah. And so he tried it on. He put it on 3 times in 5 minutes, just 3 times in 5 minutes. Before that, he rated his pain on a scale of 1 to 10. He said it was like an 8 or a 9. And then he tried it 3 times in 5 minutes. And after 10 minutes, he looks at me, and I honestly, I can still see his face. He was so shocked that it worked. He says, I feel something here. I feel a difference. And we haven't stopped. We take this liquid every day and we put the gel. I have a tube everywhere in my house because it helps with bleeding when you cut, with burns. It helps with skin issues, wrinkles reduced by 23%. It improves blood flow by 49%. All of it does. It's the same thing. It's the liquid and the gel are identical.
Oh, I was just going to ask,
different.
what's the difference between the two?
There isn't. It's just that these have more compact molecules than the liquid, although the liquid does too, but this is twice as potent. Okay. And then we have another little one. It's called a serum, which is even more potent. And this would be like for deeper cuts. Maybe you should use this one instead, but that'll work. This technology works and there's science behind it. If you go to redoxscience.com, you'll see it.
So my mom has stenosis of the spine and she's always in pain. Would you recommend the gel for her or the liquid, or would it be a combination of both?
Great question, both, because the inside is working on the cells and the production in the mitochondria. That's why it takes a little longer. It's working in the inside of your cell. And this works from the outside in. So when you tackle from the inside out and the outside in, you're going to get faster results.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any scientific evidence that supports all of this? I'm sure you do.
Yeah, we have testimonials galore. This is backed by science. It's the real deal because there's redox science.com that you can go and look at the studies, redox science. And I have individual studies that were done one in 2017 and another one just done in 2023 that proves that even when this thing, and the liquid too, even when you are stressed and the body is like overwhelmed and cannot produce the glutathione that it needs, this will work anyway. Even when you try to inhibit it from working, it works even better. And those are studies done by Bath University in England just last year. I have that. I have lots of other studies. There's a Canadian study too that proves that these molecules work. There's lots of science behind it. I can send that to anybody.
Wow, that's great. Yeah. That's great. So anything else you would like to say about the product or anything at all?
Yeah, thank you. Here's how I think about life, because and you and I were talking about this the other day. I see life in like three categories or three buckets. I don't know what the word is. It's identity and mindset and action. Okay, you really have to understand and find out who you really are at your core. You know, what is your essence? And no one can answer those questions but you. You know, who am I? Why am I here? Those questions that have been around forever. But why do you do the things you do? So, and why do you automatically, and I'm not you, all of us, because myself included, we just take external information a lot and we just accept it. You know, we just do what everybody else does without even thinking, without asking any questions. And the older I get, the more questions I ask, and the less concerned I am about what anybody else thinks, because I know that the intention of my heart is never to hurt people. That's who I am. I don't want to hurt people. So I find out, I ask questions. I'm the fish that's swimming upstream. Okay, find out what's right for you, because the answers lie within. Identity, mindset. Once you know what you got to do and what's your truth, you got to stick to that mindset that this is what you're going to do. And that's mindset, a powerful, creative mindset that we all have, if you direct it correctly. And number 3 is taking action. So take action on behalf of yourself and others, because I've done this for 6 years. I help hundreds of people, and they all come back and thank me and say that I've changed their lives. No, you did. Right. You did. You did the research. You went and tried it. You did it, you know. So I'm here to encourage everyone, especially women, because we're caregivers, yes, right? And we always put everybody before ourselves. That's not a good idea. Take care of yourself first, and then you'll be able to help others. And this 7 habits and this technology will help you get there.
I love it. I love it. Miriam, where can our listeners find you and get some more information about yourself and what you're doing and the technology that you're using?
Yeah, miriamspencer.com is a good place.
Easy.
My phone number is there. Yeah, it's easy. Just go there. My phone number is there. There's information there. There's videos there. You can visit. There's a schedule. So if you want 20, 30 minutes with me for free, complimentary, just come and talk to me. miriamspencer.com.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Miriam, thank you for being here. Do you have any final thoughts before we go?
No, just to remind everyone, especially women, how beautiful they are inside out. Just you're beautiful. You have everything you need to make it a beautiful life as we age, because I'm going to live over 100. Are you?
Yeah, absolutely. But we're going to live over 100, but we're going to be very healthy. We're going to continue to do all the things that we love to do. That's the purpose of my podcast. That's the purpose of my business, is to keep us healthy longer and enjoy this beautiful time of our lives, because for me, it's the best time of my life. I really honestly believe that. And I want to be able to enjoy it. I want to do the things that I've always done. I don't want to say, oh no, I can't. I have a backache, my hip, I'm not going to be that person.
Me neither. I'm with you. We'll be walking the beaches together when we're 90 and 100. Yeah, I agree. 100%.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. With that in mind, I'm going to close. Listeners, thank you so much for being here. I will put all of Miriam's information in the notes, her website, email address, all of that. So you'll be able to get additional information. And I appreciate each and every one of you. Miriam, thank you so much.
Thank you.